Welcome to Thoughts for Growth, your 5-minute or so spark to see our world differently. Brought to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays by K-Wave 6 Radio. Now, here's today's thought.
Think of the future that we could create. Face the facts today. There's a better way. There's a better way.
Hello and welcome to Thoughts for Growth. Today we're going to take a look at the word subtlety. What is it to be subtle? The idea here is to look at a word because it is something that affects us in our everyday lives, and most of us don't even realize it. Subtlety, for most people, is something that's very kind, very gentle, something that's in the background. Part of that is true. It is something that's in the background. It's just not always what you think is in the background. Let's take a look at the word subtle in the dictionary. It's an adjective. The first one doesn't really define it well, but the remaining 6 do. Thin, tenuous, or rarefied as a fluid or an odor. Okay. But I'm not really talking about something that's an odor. She has a very nice perfume and she wears it very well. It's subtle. You have to be close to her to really smell it, and it's very nice. That's fine. That's subtle. But number 2, fine or delicate in meaning or intent. Difficult to perceive or understand. That's where we're going, starting right there. But let's finish with the rest. Number 3, delicate or faint and mysterious. Requiring mental acuteness, penetration, or discernment. Number 5, characterized by mental acuteness or penetration. Number 6, this one is very good. Cunning, wily, or crafty. And number 7, insidious in operation. And I really want to go there. There was something that was mentioned. Goering from World War II usually gets credit for it, but it was actually Adolf Hitler that said it. If you tell a lie often enough, people will believe it. In other words, it becomes the popular truth. If you've been paying any attention to, for example, because I'm not picking on this, but for example, what the Palestinians have been saying about their war against not only Israel, but anyone who is not a, devout follower of Islam, because they're killing their own as well as Christians and Israelis and basically anybody. You're European, you're American, if they live in your country and they're attacking you. These are the little subtle things they're doing, but they're telling you right up front, we're waging a propaganda war. How subtle can you get except for when they go around telling you that that's what they're doing? But them aside, what about the media? We talked about this a little bit yesterday in episode 20. What is it that we are being told, and some things that we're not being told? And people would say, well, no, they wouldn't tell us a lie. Well, okay. Some people have this thing about saying if it's an omission, they didn't put it in there, it's a lie of omission. It's just omission. They didn't tell you. They told you the truth, they just didn't tell you the whole truth. This is why when I've never had to go to court to be sworn in, but if I'm going to follow what they say on TV, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Well, they say yes, and then they go ahead and lie anyway. How many times have you seen any of these hearings with the government where they ask you questions and I don't have the answer to that question? person is in a position to know what's going on in that corporation or whatever, and I don't have the answer to that question. How do you hold somebody accountable for that? I don't have the information, so it's a lie of omission in that case, but it's still just basically omission. I don't have the information. Whether you're the receiver or you're the one who's giving it to us, if you don't have the whole truth, you have an omission. I'll give you a story, and I'll end with this. When I was younger, we had a story that was told to us about a guy who was in the old days when they used to have crossing guards for railroad tracks. They would put down that familiar crossing bar, if you will, the black and white striped, in various colors nowadays, and he would wave a lantern on these country roads. And a person came flying down the road and didn't see or hear the train that was coming across the tracks that was crossing his road. The crossing guard was there, and the person's car was hit and everybody died in the car except for one person who took the company to court. And of course the crossing guard was taken there as well. And to make a longer story short, the crossing guard was asked questions. Did you put down the gate? Yes, I did. Did you wave your lantern? Yes, I did. So the court went in favor of the company. Afterwards, somebody asked, he says, well, how do you feel about the outcome of the case? He says, it was fine, but it didn't tell everything. He says, what do you mean? He says, they asked me if I put down the gate. I did. They asked me if I waved my lantern. I did. But nobody asked me if the lantern was lit. There is your omission, and there is the problem that we have today. We don't have all of the information, so we make choices, we make decisions off of faulty information. This is subtly being omitted from what you know. We could go on, we could make a show out of this, which we may, but for now, think about this, and hopefully your life will get better from there. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Think of the future that we could create. Face the facts today. There's